For these examples, I'm only going to do a few of them since they all have vertices or co-vertices and foci. So let's look at number 9. In number 9, we are given vertices and foci. So we're going to start off with finding the midpoint of the vertices, and that is going to give us the center. So we have to write our x's, 8 plus 8 over 2, and then our y's, 13 plus negative 3 over 2. So that gives us 16 over 2, and then 10 over 2, which reduces to 8, 5. So that's the center. That doesn't look like any kind of 5, I know. There we go. Okay. So, hold on. Okay. So now that we know the center, 8, 5, we can use the vertices to figure out the distance between the vertices and the center. And that will give us both the direction of the hyperbola, and it will give us A. Now, as you can see in this little sketch here, I have sketched out the 2 vertices in purple and the center in pink, and we can see that the distance here from the center to the vertex is going to be 13 minus 5, and the same thing works here, 5 minus negative 3, so that's going to be 8. So A is 8. We can also see that the transverse axis connecting the 2 vertices is vertical, so we know that this is a vertical hyperbola. So we're going to have to use that vertical formula. And now we need to figure out what B is. Now we can't figure out what B is because we don't have that information yet, but we do know the foci. And we can use the foci, of course, to figure out what C is. So C is going to be the distance between these 2 foci. Notice how the 8 in the x position is the same. So the distance between the y's divided by 2 is going to give us C. So we just do 22 minus negative 12. Which would be 34, and then half of that is 17, so that is our C. And then we can use the formula that we talked about earlier, C squared equals A squared plus B squared, to find B. And remember, this is your foci formula, so we just substitute in what we know. We know that C is 17. We know that A is 8, and B is what we're looking for. So we figure all of this out. 17 squared is 289. 8 squared is 64. Subtract 64 from both sides, so we get 225. Square root both sides, and we get, well, we don't need to square root both sides because all we need is B squared to put into our midpoint form, or to put into our hyperbola formula. So now let's go check our vertical hyperbola formula, and we start with y. So we have y minus k is 5, so y minus 5 squared over a squared, so a is 8, that's 64, minus x minus h, which is 8, squared, over b squared, which was 225, equals 1. Now we're going to skip number 10, because number 10 is just like number 9. The only difference, there really is no difference. The only difference, I guess, is that your foci is a little bit more complicated with the plus minus square root of 130. But we did work problems very similar to that with ellipses. However, I am going to go through question 11 with you, and question 11 has the 1 plus minus 2 square roots of 5, so hopefully that will help. So in question 11, we start off with covertices instead of vertices, but we still can use them to find the center. So we say midpoint equals 1 plus 1 over 2, 3 plus negative 5 over 2. Reduce that to 2 over 2, which is 1. 3 minus 5, which is negative 2 over 2, which is negative 1. So that's our center. Now we can look to the covertices, and we can look to the y's. Notice we can't look to the x's because the x's are both 1, and there's no change in the x's. But we can look to the y's to find b. Remember, covertices are going to give you b, vertices are going to give you a. So b here is going to be the difference between these two y's. 3 minus negative 5 is 8, over 2 is 4. So that's what b is. And if you want to check that for yourself, just go put these points into Desmos, and you can see that that's going to be the difference between those 2 points and your center. Now we can use the foci to find c. Now keep in mind that even though the foci is written kind of like it's 1 point here, the plus minus means that it is indeed 2 points. So the foci is actually 1 plus 2 square roots of 5, negative 1, and 1 minus 2 square roots of 5, negative 1. So in order to find c, we need to find the difference between the x's. So we say 1 plus 2 square roots of 5 minus 1 minus 2 square roots of 5. And since we're subtracting, we have to make sure we distribute the negative to both terms. So this is 1 plus 2 square roots of 5 minus 1 plus 2 square roots of 5. And notice that the 1's will cancel, but the 2 square roots of 5 will add together. So 2 plus 2 is 4 square roots of 5. Remember, when you're adding radicals, you add what's on the outside of the house, but you keep what's on the inside of the house the same. So our foci so far is 4 square roots of 5, but in order to find c, we have to divide that by 2. So it's 2 square roots of 5 is c. c is 2 square roots of 5. Now, we have to use c to find a. And we use our handy-dandy a squared plus b squared equals c squared formula to do that. So a squared we don't know, b squared is 4 squared, and c squared is 2 square roots of 5 squared. So 4 squared is 16. When you are squaring something, especially if you're squaring something that has a radical and there's a term on the outside and a term on the inside of the radical, you can kind of distribute that exponent. Remember, you can't distribute an exponent over plus or minus, but you can distribute an exponent over multiplication. So I forgot that there was a 5 in there and not a 2. We can reduce this to become a squared plus 16 equals 2 squared is 4. The square root and the exponent of 2 will cancel. And then this will reduce to become a squared plus 16 equals 20. We can subtract 16 from both sides so that a squared equals 4. And we can leave it there because now we need to put it into our Oh, we haven't figured out if this is vertical or horizontal yet. So notice how our co-vertices, if you think about it, like if you graph it like this, our co-vertices are going to be at 1, 3, and 1, -5. So our co-vertices are vertical. That means our vertices are going to have to be horizontal. So this is horizontal. That means we're going to use this. And since I'm going to eventually skip number 12, I'm going to use that area to write my answer for number 11. So my answer is x minus h is 1 squared over a squared is going to be 4 minus y minus k, so plus 1 squared over b squared is 16 equals 1. And this is the answer for this one. Don't get it confused. I didn't do number 12. You can do number 12 and you can do number 10 if you so choose. But I'm not going to do them because they're very similar to numbers 9 and 11.